Well, just like the timeless lyrics say, rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, and whiskey makes my baby girl get a little frisky.
Rain makes corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes my baby feel a little frisky.
Well, like rain, mortgage rates in the fives may feel like a drag as they eat away at housing affordability, but they are also likely leading to better things, such as a healthier housing market in the coming months and years. Sustained mortgage rates in the fives are exactly what the housing market needs right now to create balance and give homebuyers more time and options. The current reality of 5% mortgage rates may seem like a nightmare to some homebuyers until you imagine a market with mortgage rates remaining in the low threes where they have hovered for much of the pandemic. Record low rates were effective in lowering mortgage payments, bringing more homebuyers into the market, and staving off a severe COVID recession, but they also all but decimated the housing supply and sent home prices skyrocketing. Just take a look at how inventory and home prices reacted to the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate dipping below 3.5%. With rates below 3.5% from April 2020 to January 2022, home prices increased 31%, active listings decreased 61%, bidding wars more than doubled from 32% to 68%, and inflation increased to its highest rate in 40 years. But what about all of that juicy middle ground between 3.5% and 5%, you say? Well, if the goal is to really slow price growth to a crawl, rates below 4.5% aren't the answer. They haven't been able to do that in the past. Since 2010, the only two periods of substantially slower price growth occurred when the average 30-year mortgage rate was above 4.5%. And curbing price growth is a much heavier lift now than it was in previous decades. Not only is inventory at record lows, but robust demand is all but guaranteed by a massive wave of millennials aging into their prime home buying years during a time of strong job and wage growth. In other words, today's housing market is a much bigger ship that requires more force to turn. Rates in the high fours may have had the oomph to slow the market in the 2010s, but it's unlikely they do now. Ultra-low mortgage rates may have been great for home buyers that locked them in, but they were terrible for the health of the housing market and a key driver of the inflation we're seeing today. And let's remember that mortgage rates didn't fall below 3.5% organically. It was a byproduct of a hopefully once-in-a-lifetime pandemic that at one point disrupted nearly every aspect of daily life. It seems hard to imagine since we're currently witnessing one of the steepest rate increases in history, but it could be a lot worse. For example, rate increases would have been even steeper if the Federal Reserve had chosen to raise the federal funds rate by 0.5% instead of the minimum increase of 0.25% in March. The Fed could also have tapered its asset purchases faster and with less warning. More extreme reactions and policies by them almost certainly would have meant higher mortgage rates today. We can also take a look back to before 2008, where it was almost unheard of to get a rate in the fives because of how low it was. I'm sure you've heard stories from parents or grandparents of getting rates over 10% in the 1980s. If our end goal is a balanced housing market with ample inventory and home prices that appreciate in step with wage growth, 5% rates are not a half-bad way to get there. The other means of slowing, halting, and or reversing price growth is a market crash, and nobody wants that. The bottom line is that today's market, overheated as it may be, is built on the solid fundamentals of low supply, high demand, and strong employment. So hang in there and we'll see a stronger, more balanced housing market in the future. If you've got more questions about all of this, I'd love to chat with you and dive deeper. Give me a call anytime.